Hi, Kim West, the Sleep Lady, and in this video, I'm going to answer Jade's question that she posted on my Facebook page. Here's what she wrote in. How do we get our 2.5-year-old to stay asleep in her room at night? I have a 9-day-old baby and I'm struggling with night feeds and she always joins us. Our husband tries to get her in her room and keep her in there. We've tried a mattress on the floor too. Some nights this works and she stays in her room, and other nights she refuses to do anything but join us, which is obviously not ideal if I'm feeding a newborn and she wants to sit awake and watch. She doesn't nap, and we do have issues with getting her to bed 50% of the time. We've tried a consistent routine of bath, story, bed, but we have to stay until she's asleep. We started reading Roger the Rabbit, and this was brilliant at first, but now it doesn't always work. Some nights she requests to just have lights off and for us to lie down with her. But the night awakenings are our biggest issue. Okay, lots of things here going on. First of all, congratulations on your newborn. And yes, I can only imagine how tired you are. It sounds like your 2.5-year-old may be in a bed. I did notice you mentioned a crib, and I did notice that you did say story bed and not cot or crib. So this might make this a little bit harder, Jade, because after all, this is a huge adjustment for your daughter. She has a new sibling, and that's taking a lot of mommy's attention away, and this might be a tough time, but not impossible. And it is true, at some point you will have to address this with her. So I would. The other thing is that you may have put her into a bed to get the crib ready for the baby, and she might not be ready for the crib. So you have some decisions to make there. If you've newly gotten her out of the crib and she even talks about her crib, then you could consider putting her back into the crib. Some of it has to do with how articulate she is too. The average age to understand stay in your bed all night long and to have the impulse control to help her stay there is not developed until 2.5. Okay, that's just the average. For sure, it's really solid at 3. And I haven't seen it work that well under 2.5. On some cases, it's true. So again, I don't know where she falls in on that and how much you think she understands about staying in her bed and how long she's been in her bed since her sibling came. So I'll make sure to link this article to some other great articles about helping your toddler sleep when there's a newborn in the house, to give you new resources or more resources. Okay, so I would start at bedtime after a great day of a nap. It says here she doesn't nap. I would make sure that at the very least you are trying for a nap every day, if not quiet time. I mean, you can't make her go to sleep, but you can provide the time and the environment, the sleep-friendly environment to do that. She's got to be overtired at this point. So again, you might need a few days of napping, even if you're convinced she doesn't need it. She might need it just now with all the changes with the new sibling and her fragmented sleep at night. So if you have to drive her or put her in the stroller, do it so that you can get her to bedtime well rested. And then I would do the Sleep Lady Shuffle. So either you or your husband sit next to her. If you think she would get a very simple sleep manner chart, go ahead, get that. You can also get an appliance timer to attach to a light or a toddler clock to help reinforce that you have to stay in your bed quietly until your wake-up light comes on. And you could make a very simple sleep manner chart and then sit next to her, offer physical and verbal reassurance at bedtime until she's completely asleep. And then each time she gets up, you're going to have to return her to her bed, remind her that the wake-up light is not on, and tuck her back into bed and say, remember, we have to stay quietly in our bed. And you resume your chair position. If you really feel like, boy, she is not getting this and she is just popping up out of bed every single time she wakes up, and we've been doing this for a week and we're worn out, then you might need to consider gating the door. So when she comes to the gate, you come to the gate and she'll call out for you, of course, and you say, get back in your bed, and I'll tuck you in, but you got to get back in your bed. You really have to be quite repetitive at this age until she finally learns that this is where I need to sleep and this is how mommy and daddy respond. And again, being really sensitive to the fact that she has a new sibling. So trying to include her in other activities and as best as possible having some time with just her will really help too.